Today I'd like to review my favorite medium format film camera. I've been shooting a lot, forcing myself to bring this camera because it's a lot bigger than my 35mm film cameras. But what's good about this camera is it shoots 10 shots per roll, which kind of forces me to think a little bit more when I shoot a photograph. And also it provides me more quality with a trade-off with less shots per roll. So those of you who do not know 6x7 negatives, they mainly are shot on a 120 film spool. So there are three main popular medium formats that you can find out there: the 6x5, the 6x6, and the 6x7. So the Mamiya 7 first was introduced in 1995. I have a second version. The first version and second version will just very minor differences. So you can tell if it's a second by strap lugs. So the one only had strap lugs on the side, but the second they actually introduced another strap lug over here, so you can actually handle the camera like this. And also it has multi-exposure, double exposure function built in, so you don't have to worry if you want to do double exposures anymore. So the core camera, what it's all about is the rangefinder. So what is a rangefinder is when I'm shooting a photograph, I'm actually looking through this piece of glass here rather than through the lens. So there will be a box inside, and what I see would be what I see, and what I want to include would be within that box. What's outside of that box I can also see as well. So I'm more close to rangefinder shooter. With the SLRs, I find it a bit struggle to focus things. Well, I much prefer aligning ghost images. So the rangefinder also has a polarized filter over it. So actually, when you see an image, it actually turns out a bit bluish, but it adds a lot more contrast within the viewfinder. So it's much easier to see on like bright sunny days or even dark scenes as well. The meter for this camera is very special. It doesn't tell you where it doesn't meter through the lens. What happens is it's underneath the rangefinder patch. So a lot of people struggle to use the Mamiya 7 meter because it's something that is very different from the experience before. When it tells you the meter, it actually doesn't give you a needle. What it does, it tells you what the exact exposure should be like. So if I'm shooting at f11, it will tell me you need to shoot at 30th of a second rather than telling you you're underexposing or overexposing. So I have the Mamiya 7 80mm lens. Its widest aperture is f4. All of the Mamiya lens, they don't go down to f2.8. They're mainly f4 or above. In particular, there's a huge selection of lens. There's 43 50mm, which you won't be able to couple your images through the rangefinder. You actually need an external viewfinder to frame. And there's 80mm and also the 65mm and 150mm and 210. 210, you basically the largest aperture is f8, and I don't see many people use it. So what's good about Mamiya lens is the shutter is actually built in the lens. So what that allows me to do, it's a leaf shutter, so it allows me to sync my flash all the way up to 500th of a second, which is very handy. Also, what's good about the leaf shutter is actually it has less vibration, unlike SLRs, so that allows me to shoot at lower shutter speeds. Given the fact even I only to f4, I can actually shoot at 15th per second. The only thing about the Mamiya 7 I really noticed before was because I mainly handle metal cameras, 35mm. The Mamiya 7 is made of plastic. So it is very light, so there is a trade-off. It's very, very light, which is something I like a lot. It's only weighing 1.27 kilograms with an 80mm lens, so which is normally about a DSLR, modern DSLR with a fixed 50mm lens. So it's extremely light, and with the size of it and the amount of quality you get is actually pretty amazing. So I only shot like around 10 rolls on my Mamiya 7, but just because you only get 10 shots per roll and you find yourself more concentrated. I made a print out of a Tri-X 400 roll that I shot, and I shot this while I was building my own coffee shop. and it was just good memories, and it had my best friend in it. So also, I just felt like it was a very good memory. I wanted to print it out. So I made 3 prints, one for myself, one for my friend, and one for archiving. The image quality on the print, even on an A4, just doesn't justify how big you can actually print with a Mamiya 7. This camera just feels right in my hands. It has a very nice big grip here. I almost feel like I'm actually handling a DSLR. For this combo with my lens here, the weight is actually even a bit lighter. The quality and the resolution that it gives me is just incredible. This camera also allows me to not bring a light meter. It has a built-in light meter, and it almost works like a spot meter, which is something I'm very, very comfortable with. And it really is just a go-to camera for me if I'm shooting landscapes or other activities that I know that I want the quality over volume. Thanks again for watching another review. If you're a little bit tired of shooting 35mm and you want to try something a bit different, I highly recommend any medium format camera, really, because the amount of quality you get once you get your first development back, you would be surprised by the tonality difference what you get from 35mm. So sun's actually really setting really quick, and I need to grab my tripod and finish this sunset today. And I hope you enjoy my highlight reel at the end. See ya!
Right.